And here comes our first horse, Haven Schatt.
$200,000 purse offered. It is $100,000 for the win, $60,000 for the second, $40,000 for the third. It's amazing. Prize money, the payout, the biggest payout. Clip My Horse TV Hunter Classic is underway. It's a one-round affair, and Haven Schatt out of Wellington, Florida will get us started. She's aboard Chaquisto Blue PS. This is a Oldenburg gelding, a 7-year-old, and is owned by Caroline Oliver out of Houston, Texas. Now, leading hunter rider, of course, Haven Schatt, she's been there before as a top rider, Capital Challenge in Maryland, Devon, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, leading rider, and a 2-time World Championship hunter rider, professional national champion. So we get started now. Tell us what we're going to look for here in our first ride.
Well, this is an interesting horse for Haven. She had a different horse in mind for this class. That particular horse was second in yesterday's Derby, International Hunter Derby, so they decided not to use him today. Being the good horsemen that they are, they decided that horse had done enough this week. So she's bringing this horse in today, which is a young, inexperienced, more equitation type horse than hunter horse. Haven was thrilled to be in this class, thrilled to see how this horse managed it. Just came in with her usual very composed demeanor, positivity, and just see what happens today. So that's jump 1 away from the gate. You can see he's a little bit tall. He's a young horse. He's not quite a classic hunter mover. However, he is a beautiful jumper.
So what kind of a pace are we looking for? This is, as you say, maybe a classical pace. So we're looking for somebody to move on a little bit more, maybe to show their horse off?
We want to see a pace that's consistent. We want to see, again, elegance of movement. We want to see a fluidity, so not much adjustment in the horse's canter. In the ideal hunter round, if we're talking about 100 points, the horse is beautiful across the ground. It lands all of its leads. It has a uniformity to jump. It uses its back in the air, so we have a beautiful arc. It uses its knees in a uniform manner so that the horse's front legs come up at the same time, and he gives us some athleticism in the air. This horse has been great so far. That was beautiful. But we want to see that hunter elegance, the hunter beauty. That's the object of the game here. And that's what a classic round is geared toward. Again, no tricks, just elegance and consistency.
Very nice, smooth ride so far as we head down one of the last of the lines. And seems like Haven she's a veteran. She's going to meet all these fences perfectly with this horse. That's the whole idea, though. The horse can be great. The rider's got to steer it to the proper spot.
It sure does. Doesn't matter what ring you're in.
Exactly.
That is a constant. That's something we can depend on. Yeah, Havens is one of the best riders of my generation. She's younger than I am, but it's one of the best riders I can remember. Always consistent, always great with the younger horses. As we said, this horse is 7 years old.
So we're heading towards that last jump. Beautifully done. SR start, 15 to show here this afternoon for the biggest payout in all of our show hunter history. Haven Schatt with Chaquisto Blue PS for Caroline Oliver out of Houston, Texas. Judges' scores coming in. We're going to hear from Katie throughout the afternoon as well as our riders exit, get a little bit of the tidbits from their ride in this very, very special class.
And quick reminder, panel 1 is Bob Crandall and Rob Bielfeld. Panel 2 is Susie Shulkoff and Don Stewart. And panel 3, who are watching on a monitor behind us actually, are Richard Slocum and Tucker Erickson.
How did it ride for you out there?
It was great. I was so proud of him. This is his first big event in this kind of atmosphere, and he was just so great.
As a young horse stepping up here, what impressed you the most?
About him, he's just so level-headed. He gives his all every time, even though he doesn't maybe understand. He still tries really hard.
Well, he certainly has plenty to grow into. A beautiful start here. Congratulations.
Okay, we're going to check out these scores now. We see them up on the big board, 90, 91, and 88. 269, that's a great start here this afternoon.
That's an incredible start. Good for Havens. And again, as I said, she came in with not high expectations of this horse. He did the equitation with his owner earlier in the week. So he's not a real practiced Hunter Classic / Derby kind of horse. And I think that this is really emblematic of incredible takeaway for the Hunter sport.
Sissy, the jumps that we use, I'm pretty sure it's maybe most of our viewers are familiar with everything, but they have a little bit of origin back from the fox hunting days, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I laugh at that because I'm 112 years old and I did fox hunt a lot in my youth. And we have gotten quite far away from fox hunting. But having said that, yes, the genesis of the hunter discipline is from the fox hunting field. I think we're talking about horses that can gallop off a consistent canter, that don't hit the jumps, that have a certain amount of manners and beauty, and as I said, kind of elegance across the ground.
Well, the Rain family out of Raleigh, North Carolina is sending in a beautiful mount, Almoretto, and Brady Mitchell from Wellington, Florida is up in the irons. He rides the 7-year-old Oldenburg Gelding. 2 and 3 horse and rider combination, the 2 reserve champions, overall 5th at this year's International Hunter Derby final. And then this is a veteran rider, our Clip My Horse TV Hunter Classic 3rd performer here today.
Brady's a great rider, originally from Canada. Has ridden for the reins for years now and always has quite a string of young horses coming up. He does a great job buying the horses young, bringing them along, producing them. Really a lovely, lovely rider. This horse was great in Kentucky a few weeks ago at the Derby finals. it's funny, you can do an experience like that at Derby finals where the ring is huge, there's a lot of atmosphere, the jumps are very unusual, and the horses graduate from that experience with so much takeaway. So this looks less impressive to them and less worrisome, and they can relax and use that experience to actually produce a better round in this kind of situation.
So we're looking for that nice consistent performance to produce the top score, 269 for the overall total right now, with even Schatt and Chaquisto Blue PS leading for that $100,000 top prize. So far so good, nice smooth effort. And Sissy, and again, contrast to Haven's horse, we look at Augusta's and Brady's horse, a little closer to the jumps, right?
Yes.
When they're going over, not as high.
Not as high, exactly. And obviously the judges quite rewarded Haven's horse, who gave it a lot of height and a lot of arc. This is just a little bit more staid than that, but a beautiful, beautiful horse. And again, very consistent. But you're right, he's lower at the jump.
And you'd like to have the horse land on the proper lead, right?
Well,
Going
absolutely,
to the next jump.
absolutely. That indicates balance and direction. I mean, it's not the end of the world if they don't, but if you're judging and you see a horse actually land his leads, it shows balance.
Nicely done. Well, the judges are going to radio in their scores from the 3 locations. Again, we have 2 outside locations, and our third set is checking and evaluating the round out from inside our building next door, watching remotely. And we're going to check things out here in just a moment after 3 of our 15. Here's Katie.
Brady, this is a newer horse to you, a younger horse. What has he shown you in this short amount of time to say he was the right one to call up today?
Well, you know, he's brand new at this, but I feel like he just had a really, really great round. He didn't touch any fences. He's dead brave. He's starting to feel like a hunter. I'm really, really happy with him. It was great.
What does it mean to you to be able to compete in a class like this with this kind of prize money?
This means a lot to me. I mean, I love the hunter sport. I've kind of dedicated my entire life to it, and to be able to ride in moments like this is kind of what I live for. So I'm very excited to be here.
Beautiful round. Looking forward to the future for this one.
Thank you very much.
Great replay work up there in slow motion, Sissy. Beautifully done. We check out the scores for Brady and Almiretto for the Rain family, 86, 85, and another 86. That'll total up to 257, currently in second after 3 of our 15. They only go once here today. $100,000 all dangled right up there for the top prize in the biggest payout in all of our hunter world. And we'll take a look now at our next rider on the way in. Hannah Isip is the rider from nearby Pauling, New York. She's one of our veteran riders as well. She rides the horse owned by Christine Watkins of Palm Beach, Florida. And she is aboard a horse named Celine. This is a 10-year-old warm blood mare. Just in the top 6 at the Green Incentive Finals, International Hunter Derby out in Kentucky, and recipient of the Equine Hunter Style Award at the Winter Equestrian Festival in Wellington, Florida. So we're going to check out Celine. Hannah Isip up in the irons.
Hannah's very excited about this horse. I talked to her about it in Kentucky for the Green Hunter Incentive. Very excited about her. And again, I think the mare comes out of that experience with a lot more, having seen a lot more presence, a lot more relaxation in a setting like this, which is less impressive. Beautiful jumper. Hannah, again, does a great job bringing along young horses. She and her aunt, Tracy Friels, always have a big string of horses everywhere from the 2'6" greens to the Hunter, International Hunter Derbies. Beautiful, beautiful rider.
Explain about the Green Hunter Incentive.
The Green Hunter Incentive. It's really one of the USHJ's flagship programs. You qualify for it throughout the year, and then you go to Kentucky and you compete your horse either at 3'3", 3 foot, 3'6", or 3'9". And it's great money and even better props. It's a big deal to do well there. The mare's just a little bit nervous in the bridle here. You see Hannah just kind of coaxing her along. Swapped in the 2 stride there, so she landed on the right lead, took 1 stride, then swapped to the left lead, and jump the out of the in and out. So that will be a deduction of a few points. The mare's just a bit tense. You can see the difference between this horse and the ones before it in that she's looking around the ring a bit and just a little tense. Hannah's doing a great job just soothing her around.
All the horses beautifully presented, all the manes and tails braided up, riders all formally attired. This is big time here today. This is big money, big payout, and we have some top horses and riders.
Yeah.
Great to see them.
Better be dressed up for this.
Absolutely.
And there's the last jump, which is an oxer right toward the end gate.
Now, jumping towards the in gate and the end, I know some horses do know where they come in the ring, and they do know where they come out of the ring. Does it
They all
have
know.
any kind of a factor? You're just going to ride to that last oxer anyways, right?
But absolutely, though, that's a good point. So when your first jump is toward the gate, you're going to assume, or your last jump, you're going to assume the horse is going to take you to it a little bit. Oh, here comes Katie.
Hannah, you did a beautiful job out there. Celine looked like she was excited to be out there.
She was very happy to be out there.
You've done a wonderful job producing this one. I know you've said some pretty high praise, including the next Red Rider. What can we look forward to in the future with her?
Yes, definitely big things to come for her.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the scores have been posted now. We see the replay of Celine, Hannah Isip guiding for Christine Watkins. A 72 and a pair of 74s. That'll add up. We're adding the scores together for 220, now sitting in the third position. We have seen 4 of 15 in the $200,000 Clip My Horse TV Hunter Classic. And we now introduce the rider, Laena Romond, up on the Alexi Mayos entry out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Here is Forsini. Forsini is a 9-year-old warm blood gelding. Champion 3-3 Green Capital Challenge over in Maryland last year. Also in Harrisburg, and reserve champion in the 3'6" division at Devon, Pennsylvania. So those are all major stops for Forsini. Laena Romond from Brookfield, Connecticut handles the ride. What can you tell me about this pairing out here, Sissy?
Well, Laena is part of the very impressive crew at Heritage Farm. Has a lot of rides with Heritage. Had an incredible horse in the Derby finals a few weeks ago that almost jumped her off, which is, if you haven't seen the video, you should watch it, because it's just an incredible horse. And he jumped very high, which was fun to watch. This horse is not her primary ride here. It also does, I believe, the amateurs with his owner. I asked her why she chose this horse for this class, and she said because of his classic movement and his dependability. He's a very seasoned veteran of this ring in particular, in that he showed here all summer, but also he's been to indoors and to Devon and to really every ring up and down the East Coast. So she was hoping that his experience, his beauty, and his consistency might get her one of those top prizes.
Tell me, do horses remember where they show? Do they remember certain venues, certain places, do you think, or no?
I do think so. You know, I think I've had horses that just are never, ever good in some venue, whether it's the jumper ring being too close, or the atmosphere, or the footing, or who knows. But you do find some courses or some facilities that you know your horse is just going to relax in. And if your horse is at a circuit and has been in X place, oh no, that rail came down, for weeks on end, then certainly they become accustomed to that environment. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
That is too bad. So with 2 more jumps coming up, I'm going to try to finish off with a flare. Laena Romond up on the horse Forsini. And a knockdown, as you mentioned, they're going to get an automatic score for a knockdown.
I would have to say that the flip side of the coin for these jumps being quote unquote normal-ish, so something that our horses see a lot, is that they cannot be too impressed by them. So that horse, Laena, did nothing wrong. The horse did nothing wrong. He just got a little low to the jump. He literally just didn't jump high enough. So he ended up having that front rail. So with the derbies, while sometimes it works against us, a lot of times that the impressiveness of the jumps works for us, and the horses tend to stay off of them.
Okay, as mentioned, Sissy mentioned, with that automatic score, basically we have a knockdown. They had a 46, 47, and another 47 from our 3 panels of judges. So that'll rank up to 140, currently in 4th right now at this point. So again, we're still looking for the challenger in this class. 269 is the top score for Schatt and Chaquisto Blue PS. They lead the way. Now we have a winning horse from last year. This is the 2nd year for the Clip My Horse TV Classic here at HITS. And we have a winning horse and a winning rider. This is the winning horse from last year, 4 Aces, owned by Marita Zaretis out of Sutton, Massachusetts. And Ocala, Florida resident David Wilbur is up in the irons, a 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding. Pennsylvania National Horse Show, 4 Aces, High Performance Hunter Championship last fall. EMO High Five Award as well, earned the top award. Had a 93 at Harrisburg last year. And again, our defending champion is a horse here today, 4 Aces.
This is one of my favorite hunters that's going around right now. Actually ridden by one of the nicest people, David Wilbur. So 4 Aces, David's part of the Redfield Farm team. 4 Aces that's been with Redfield as long as I've known him. Brian Feigus rode him last year. David's riding him this year, and he's just a super, super athlete, and I think he's beautiful as well. So jump 1 was great. So far, Peter. This would be maybe one of the ones I would bet on if I were a betting
I know.
person.
You're a betting person.
I know. Racetrack and all, yeah. That's 7 strides away from the gate. First line away from the gate. You always want to just power up there a little bit.
Nice evenly tucked front and back. That's what the judges are looking for, evaluating that form and style of the horse.
Absolutely. High and round, please.
Oh, absolutely.
In this class, this classic format is really a throwback to what we had before the Derbies.
Speaking of throwbacks, what happened to how did the combination evolve? Do you remember?
Because we used to have to jump fence lines.
That's right.
Ha-ha, see, I am that old.
I'm a fox hunter too. But anyway, so yep, that was a part. You had to jump out of a fence line, across a road, into another fence line. So that's what
very inconsistent distances.
Right.
It could have been a 2 3/4. It could have been a right.
Yep.
There was no way of knowing unless the person in front of you did it successfully. All right, one more jump, David.
Consistently presented here today. We're going to look for a nice jump over that oxer.
Beautiful. Again, I'm biased. One of my favorite horses.
I can see why.
Yeah.
Now the audience loved that one here today. Great atmosphere, and it's a beautiful day. And HITS has done so much to promote and again energize, move the sport up. It's just great just to see all this happen. And
I hope more venues, more show companies carry this on in terms of giving us a great venue and a lot of money. We love it.
David, you've got the defending champion horse underneath you. How did that feel out there?
He was wonderful. He's always the best, and very fortunate to get to show him. So he was a very good boy. Thank you.
And the qualities that this horse has, obviously prove it in this type of format, but what does he show you out there?
He's always trying his hardest. He's such a kind, sweet horse, and yeah, he's wonderful. So very fortunate to get to ride him.
Big effort and a nice score. Congratulations.
And the scores up on the board, an 85, 88, a 90. It's our first 90 of the day, 263 for a total. And in the second place for 4 Aces and David Wilbur. Our very first competitor in the ring set the standard so far, still at the top of the board with Schatt and the Caroline Oliver's Chaquisto Blue PS. 269 leads the way, 263 now in second. Pays out 3 monies, 8 placings offered here today for a $200,000 purse. Clip My Horse TV Hunter Classic continues. Ryan Kinney will join us now here in this Hunter ring today. Ryan out of Alpharetta, Georgia, rides the Michael Britt Leon's owned Outshine. This is a horse from Alpharetta, Georgia, a Westphalian, and a 18-year-old gelding. This is our oldest horse in the tour here today. Winner of WCHR Developing Professional Challenge last year. And Sissy, I remember when there used to be all thoroughbreds. Right? That's going way back.
Sure did, way back. So this is an interesting horse. He was so good at Capital Challenge last year. It enabled Ryan to win that emerging pro class, which is quite a feather in any young pro's cap when you look at the roster of who's won that class before. So I think he got a real boost in his confidence from that class. He's ridden great all year. The horse is 18, Ryan is 21. I think that's probably the closest age gap we're going to see all day in terms of horse and rider. But it's a very, very consistent horse, very beautiful across the ground. I think that they're going to have a good day out here.
Now the judges comparing against a standard or against horse to horse?
Yes, the answer to that is yes.
Yes, okay. Yes.
So yes, we do. It's always a question that we field as judges. But yes, we judge to a standard, and yes, we judge according to how we want to place them in the class. So it's really a matter of trying to order the class.
Within the class, right.
Who's
yeah,
first
right.
and who's the best and who's the least best. I don't want to say the worst. But yes, you have to start out. If you didn't judge to a standard, you couldn't throw the first score. Very consistent, very relaxed. I love the loose feel that he has on the rein. This horse doesn't look 18, does he?
Very, very alert horses.
Looks like he likes
And I would
his
agree.
job.
I would agree. Very relaxed.
Yeah. Maybe a little low to that jump, which is hard to see unless you're sitting exactly where we're sitting. That was quite nice.
Ryan Kenny finishing up for Michael Britt Leon of Alpharetta, Georgia. Outshine the mount here today. We'll see if he can outshine the rest of the group.
This young man that started out as a working student, and Michael Britt Leon really gave him a chance, and he keeps getting better and better. So kudos to Ryan.
Well, as we mentioned throughout the afternoon, Katie's going to try to catch a little word from each one of our riders. They can, again, brag about their beautiful horses.
Ryan, I know that this horse only comes out for the big occasions. When did you put this event on his calendar?
We put this event on his calendar, I think around maybe it was mid-winter circuit. We went to Ocala just for a week, and we heard that there was a Clip My Horse class and decided to enter, and I'm so glad that we get to be at this amazing event.
This horse helped you win the Developing Pro Challenge just 6 months into your tenure as a professional. What has he meant to your career?
He has been everything. He's my favorite thing to do. I love him with all my heart. I wouldn't be where I am really without him. He's the most incredible animal I've ever sat on in my life.
Great to see the two of you out there. Thank you so much.
Checking out the scores, an 87, 86, and an 87 added up to a 260, and that finds a home now in third for the $40,000 in third. We turn our attention now to Brian Feigus. Now, he was a winner on in this classic last year at a $100,000 level, and he was the winner aboard 4 aces. We just saw a horse ago. Seth Rollerot is the owner of Nisaja. This is the horse from Malvern, Pennsylvania, the rider. He shows out of Morriston, Florida. Winner of the inaugural Clip My Horse Classic last year, as he mentioned, and this combination was a winner of a $100,000 Hunter Derby just 2 years back here at Hits on the Hudson here in Saugerties.
Seth Rollerot, who owns this horse, has an uncanny knack for sourcing horses in Europe. Sometimes they're hunters, sometimes they're jumpers, but he has a great, great eye. It's wonderful to see Brian back in the ring. He's taken some time away from the sport just to kind of reset, and he decided to come and do this class, which I don't think he's shown in more than 2 or 3 horse shows all year so far. So it's great to see him here, and I hope he's enjoying himself.
So, Sissy, with a horse, with these horses, they're bought as from Europe but brought and bought as a horse for hunters and jumpers, not necessarily just for a specific discipline, right?
Well, I think you have one in mind when you bring them over, and sometimes they fall into that category and sometimes they don't. I would say that the majority of horses that we find as hunters started out as jumpers or were intended to be jumpers. So it kind of falls into my theory that it's very hard to breed a hunter, which is not what hunter breeding people particularly like to hear me say, but at least that's a belief I hold. This horse is a beautiful mover, gets a little bit upright to the jump, but then it's beautiful in the air. And Brian is a masterful rider.
Beautifully done. He is clean as a whistle too, right?
Yeah,
It's tough to keep those white and gray horses, right?
Be.
Beautifully presented.
So, this is a great round so far. Now let's keep in mind that there are 6 qualifiers. The top 3 from each qualifier is invited to come back, plus the winner from last year. So Brian qualified as being the winner from last year. So there are 19 that may come back to this class. Only 15 came back this year.
Top 3 get the prize money here today, 100, 60, and 40 for the Clip My Horse TV Hunter Classic. And we eagerly await the scores as we get a little word in with our defending champion as a rider.
Brian, it's so great to see you back out there with this horse. How did it feel out there?
He felt awesome. He was so excited to be out there again, and it's always fun riding him.
This horse has jumped Grand Prix for you with success. He's done the Hunters with success. You're the defending champion of this class. Is this what versatility looks like, I would say?
Honestly, yeah. He hasn't shown in 2 years for no reason, but he just walks out there every single time and tries to perform, and we couldn't be happier with him.
What a joy to watch that jump. Congratulations.
Beautiful ride by Brian.
Beautifully done. Scores up. We had an 83, 84, and 85. That'll add up to 252 at this stage. 252, not close enough to get into the top 3 for that prize money. 8 placings offered here today. Very competitive group. As Sissy, as you mentioned, they have qualified throughout the year. So we're seeing the cream of the crop here today justifiably for this $200,000 purse.